Hello, I'm Sarah Kelly, Manager, Field Operations. I hope you're enjoying your orientation. Welcome to your virtual tour of the Field Operations segment of the Operations Department. You will hear from other members of my department talk about their segments of operations, such as programs and volunteer services. Our segment also includes the facilities, logistics, and knowledge management. This department org chart demonstrates how we are organized and how we work with each regional vice president, the directors of operation, and director of charter center relations to support the field. Specifically speaking to field operations, we are the behind-the-scenes business side of running the USO locations around the globe. Our number one priority is to support the field and the amazing work they are conducting day in and day out. That support manifests into a variety of tasks and initiatives. We are generating and collecting reports, managing the memorandums of understanding and the memorandums of agreement, overseeing the development of new centers and supporting big projects for our current centers. Additionally, we are the central base for the knowledge management system and maintain the policy, procedure, and information manual that contains all USO policies for every department. That document is available on the SharePoint for you to enjoy. Speaking of specific projects, here are some examples of the current department initiatives that you may experience in the field or here at Arlington. Our private phone network in Southwest Asia via satellite enhances connectivity in Iraq, Kuwait, and Afghanistan. Rather than dialing long DSN numbers or using calling cards, troops just have to dial 9 like they were sitting at my desk to make a free phone call to home. We're in the process of opening or have just opened new centers in Basra, Kandahar, Grafenwehr, Fort Riley, East Fort Bliss, Columbia, South Carolina, and Dover Air Force Base. We've also done renovations at Balad, Dubai, and the Dover Air Terminal and Port Mortuary. We are also fast underway to get a new center open in Las Vegas. We currently coordinate the biannual USO Leadership Conference that brings together all of our centers from around the world for a week-long conference covering all topics important to the USO and our folks in the field. We are working with the regional offices to develop emergency preparedness plans for each location, and we are in the process of deploying SharePoint knowledge management solution to enhance the communication and information sharing around the world. As I previously mentioned, we manage the policy, procedure, and information manual, and I would like to highlight this particular policy because it is a common point of discussion and directly affects the field. The mission, as laid out in our charter, is to support active duty armed forces personnel and their families. Therefore, our admission policy reads as such. USO centers are provided for the comfort and convenience for active duty military personnel, including reserve and guard personnel on active duty and their dependents. Operational requirements permitting the infrequent use of USO centers by military retirees or guard and reserve personnel not on active duty may be authorized by the center director. Operational requirements can and do change throughout the day and vary from center to center. If you are working in the field, the occasion may occur when an individual that does not qualify may want to enter your USO center. Best practices are to politely explain the policy as it is reflected in our mission as a nonprofit organization and out of respect for our donor resources. However, you will notice there is a flexibility clause, and it is up to the discretion of the center director to decide when resources are available to let retirees and those not on active duty access centers. They know their centers and their resources best, and after all, we are an organization that is hospitable by nature. For example, one day you could have a unit coming through your center and you know about it and you know it'll be packed, and the next day you'll have some space to share a cup of coffee. Make sure you have a conversation on this issue with your supervisor to fully understand their perspective. Also, should an individual not accept a polite explanation and escalates to a hostile nature, please feel free to refer them to Arlington for further discussion. In recent years, we've merged data requests from Finance and the Operations Department into one report that is a well-rounded look into what is going on at USO locations around the world. This report provides Arlington an understanding to the number of patrons served, volunteer hours worked, and programs and services offered. The key takeaway here is that this is not a measuring stick, but a platform for understanding. We can't be in the field seeing all that goes on every day, so this report helps us understand how much things cost, how donor dollars are being spent, and how we can understand resource needs. The Finance Department generates a cumulative report that breaks down what we do versus what we spend to understand how our organization runs. Here is some sample data generated from the FinOps report. You can see this is outdated, but it will do the trick for an example. This chart represents the total cost per individual served in Southwest Asia. We can see that it costs a little over $5 per troop in Afghanistan. So if we learn that a location in Afghanistan is receiving an influx of X number of troops, we can provide the resources to that center that they might need to accommodate the additional troops. Note the centers in Bahrain and Dubai do have negative costs because they sell souvenir items at their centers. The MOUs and MOAs are the foundation documents between the USO and the DoD or base command that allow us to serve the troops. Each center on a base, post, or station should have an MOU or MOA that describes the relationship between the base, post, or station and the USO and how the USO will operate. You can get a copy of your MOU or MOA from your center director, or if it is unavailable, reach out to our department and we'll make sure you get a copy. We keep them all on file. The overarching USO MOU with the DoD does take precedence over all MOU and MOAs in the field. That is also available if you ever want to take a look. The Field Operations Department conducts Standard of Excellence reviews of USO centers to ensure consistency and maintain the integrity of the USO brand and mission. They are 360-degree reviews covering everything from reporting track record to cleanliness of the center. SOE reviews are opportunities for our department to visit the field, meet and hear from staff, volunteers, and community members. We can help identify any roadblocks with command, airport authority, or any external component that might be affecting the center. At the end of the day, we're all about enhancing the support and services to the troops. SOE scoring is based on the cumulative points earned and translated into a 5-star scale. If you hear a center referred to as a 5-star center, or displaying their plaque, it is because they scored 33 or more points on their Standard of Excellence review. You can see here the breakdown of points available and how expansive the categories are for SOE reviews to reach a 360-degree review. In recent years, the USO has received a grant from the DoD, and while they did not provide parameters for how we were to spend the funds, we did. These are the categories that qualify for spending grant funds. Troops in harm's way in areas of active or potential conflict. All our efforts in Southwest Asia apply to this category. Troops, units in remote, harsh, isolated locations. Programs like USO To Go provide some relief and qualify for this category. Wounded warriors, family members, families of the fallen, military escorts, and caregivers. Improvements to Dover and the Families of the Fallen Center are examples of where grant funds could be used for this category. Partnering with other organizations that can appropriately supplement the USO services. We partner with the Wounded Warrior Foundation, for example, on events such as the Warrior Games. BRAC and force realignments. If tomorrow we get a consolidation of troops to a location where we don't have a center, we can use grant funds to get a new center where it needs to be. Emergent opportunities. This seems like a catch-all, but sometimes opportunities do come up, like the Fort Hood Community Strong event, that obviously was not planned or budgeted for, but necessary. An event in this nature would qualify here for grant funds. If you have any questions about grant funds or applying for grant funds, please reach out to our department. Thank you for listening to our summary of the Field Operations Department. I hope you enjoyed your virtual orientation. You may have a lot of questions because I flew through the material. In your packet, you should have a handout with all of our contact information. Again, my name is Sarah Kelly. I'm Manager of Field Operations and be glad to help you out.